5 people confirmed dead, at least 3 dozen more injured, and more than 150 homes were destroyed.
And yet, with that tragedy, hope still stands. KTAV's RJ Breen is in Greenfield with the latest.
Just days after a deadly EF4 tornado struck the town of Greenfield, Iowa, the cleanup efforts are clearly underway. Governor Kim Reynolds, as well as FEMA's administrators, addressing the media after touring the damage on the site. With that, let's talk a little bit about the town of Greenfield. The town sits just to the southwest of Des Moines, just about an hour's drive from the state capital. The town is just a little over 2,000 people, where locals tell us everyone knows just about everybody. And that was evident during the cleanup process today. Neighbors in Greenfield all helping support each other with that cleanup effort. Big bobcats and other pieces of machinery cleared the debris from the homes that they could begin the rebuilding process. The truly amazing thing to see here was just how much people were helping one another to find valuables and other items during the storm. During the press conference, it was said that 153 structures were destroyed just here in Adair County. I spoke with a resident's granddaughter who tells me she's just glad her grandmother is alive and well.
Came in and they yelled her name and she could hear them, and so they were yelling back and forth trying to find her. They were able to get down to the steps and get her out, and the basement was completely untouched.
And yet in the tragedy, something valuable was found. Joan Newell, who had lived in the neighborhood right here in Greenfield, found a belonging she thought she would never find again.
Wedding album, wedding ring. I'm still missing 2, but that's okay. Yeah. Today, people on the other end of the block brought us some more pictures.
Now the state is waiting to hear back about the disaster proclamation with the federal government. With that, details are still limited at this time. We will keep you posted when we know more. I'm RJ Breen in Greenfield, Iowa. Back to you.